A quick note from the reader. Welcome back. Thank you for supporting the channel so far. Quick note to YouTube. This is an audiobook reading for the visually impaired. This is not Varg. I'm reading a book. This is not meant to become a monetized channel. This is not meant to plagiarize any work. I'm simply reading a book and posting the chapters to YouTube. With that being said, the chapters will be uploaded one chapter at a time, regardless of how short they are. There will be a playlist. This is how I enjoy doing it, and I will continue to do this, one chapter at a time, even if it's 30 seconds long. If you can support Varg, as you should, buy all of the books. If you don't support Varg, I don't know why you're here. I will do my best, as usual, with pronunciation, but if there's some slip-ups there, that's just the way it goes. I'm recording this to my phone in a shack in the woods, so don't expect everything to be perfect. As of today's date, August 29th, 2024, Planet Earth, I do have plans to read all of his books. I understand that this is not in the correct order, but I will be reading them in the order that I feel like reading them. When all the chapters are done, I do have plans to put all of them together into one single video post on here, but we're not going to be doing that until the book is over. So you'll just have to wait until that's done if you want the whole thing. Otherwise, join us for chapter by chapter. With all that being said and out of the way, here is To Hell and Back Again, my Burzum story by Varg Vikernes, 2024. Forward. This is the story about my music, or about me as a musician, if you like. I am Burzum. Burzum is me. Even if I have somewhat retired as a musician, Burzum is still me. It always will be, whether I like it or not. No matter what I do, this will not change. This is probably not a bad thing, though, so I'm not complaining. I'm just stating facts. What I did as a teenager was to create a basis for the rest of my life, a foundation on which I could build the rest of my life. This was possible for different reasons, as it was the right time to do this, but I also had sufficient time, skill, and talent to make this happen. Circumstances allowed this to happen. This was my fate. Amor Fati, I love your destiny. In this book, I will talk about how I made the music, the recordings, things that happened in that context, what spirit it was done in, and much more. I cannot add tabs because today I do not even remember even 10% of the riffs I played. I would have to sit down and try to remember it again, and I do not think it is worth all that time and effort. Also, if I did, I could well make mistakes anyhow, leaving the result less than satisfactory. Further, I know many want to know these things, but I do not remember the type or names of synthesizers I used, save for the debut album where I talk a bit about that, or the drums or any other instruments. With one single exception, I know I had a pearl white Weston Pantera guitar. When I was just now Googled it, I found that it was an X300 from 1986. The truth is that I never cared about such things, brands or names, or indeed the price of anything I used. I just used whatever I had available and did what I could with that, and it worked. When it comes to amps, I talk about the ones I used in this book, but I do not know much about the effects pedals I used. From what I remember, I only used one single, a yellow overdrive pedal, but I do not rule out that I also had another one that I also used. The truth is, my only concern with pedals was that I remember how I had to replace the 9-volt battery used to power it, or them, more often than I appreciated, and I had the same overdrive pedal throughout my pre-prison career. For the post-prison albums, I used a pedal board that originally belonged to one of the rats from my criminal case, and that had mistakenly been identified as belonging to me when it was confiscated by the police, so I used that one for all the post-prison albums. Originally, I purchased a cheap guitar from a music store in Oslo that I naively intended to use for the post-prison records, but one of the guys at Candlelight contacted Peavy for an endorsement deal, and they gave me a 23, a very good Peavy guitar that I used for all my post-prison albums, and that I still use. And although I never asked for it, I'm very glad that the guy at Candlelight did that, because the Peavy was so much better than the guitar I had purchased in Oslo. And yeah, I understand now, and because of that, why some people care about these things. The Weston Pantera X300, though, as long as I had it, was good enough for me. And had it not been stolen from storage while I was in prison, I would have kept using that. Now I am extremely conservative, and I never wanted anything to change, so yeah, I still miss the old Weston, but that is just me. Anyhow, I hope you will enjoy this book. I will jump a bit back and forth here and talk about whatever comes to my mind as I write. This is not a Burzum encyclopedia after all. Think of it as you sitting down to hear me talk casually for a few hours about Burzum. Varg Vikernes, March 2024.